Hey guys, so this is going to be a fun video. So I think about a few weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I released a Sinners video. It was a dialogue dive on all of the kind of like the little pieces of Sinners that I really appreciated from a writing perspective. And a lot of people actually liked that video. I mean, my dialogue dives generally do really good. I think it's kind of what I'm known for, aside from BoJack Horseman and Game of Thrones. And that's why I wanted to do the dialogue dive in the first place, because people usually find a lot of value in them. And this video was doing phenomenally. I mean, the fact that you're probably even watching this video now, statistically, is because of that last dialogue dive. And you might be wondering, what happened to it? Because if you go on the channel right now, you will not be able to find it. And the title of this video probably gave it away, but there has been some insane drama happening, at least for a few years now. I have gotten 370,000 subscribers, and believe me guys, doing this is not all it's cracked up to be. And I don't want to start the video off like complaining, but there is so much that goes into making YouTube a business, and I kind of wanted to run through with you because I think at this point I have to make a change because what's been going on is unsustainable. And I think I'm going to be showing you guys things that you may have never seen before on YouTube, at least with content creators, and a long holistic breakdown of what it actually means to run a YouTube channel and how much foresight, planning, time, and effort that goes into it, and how adaptable you have to be, because YouTube and its algorithm, it's kind of like appealing to an elder god. There's nothing that I can sustainably, reliably do to make things work. And I hope by what I show you today here, you'll be able to see that for yourself. You'll be able to see here just some of the metrics of this Sinners video, right? And so right here, we can see what I'm talking about. 534 subscribers off of a few weeks. And we can see here the views, 48,000, really 49,000 more views than usual. And it was at 75,000 views. You could probably see down here, more views from YouTube recommendations, right? So this video got 63,000 views from recommendations on YouTube Home, and up next, videos on your channel typically receive 57 to 17,000 in this time frame. So 5,700 to 17,000 versus 63,000. So it was being recommended at like, I don't know, what is that? 4 to 10 times the amount, 11 times the amount that it would usually. And it had a really good average duration. On average, subscribers on your channel watch this video for 8.5 minutes. That's really long on YouTube. So I go over all of this to say the video was performing very well. So what happened? Why do we see this like flat line here? Well, it's kind of like I said, the video got blocked, but it's actually a bit more complicated than that. I don't know how much you guys know about the content ID system, but basically what YouTube does to make sure that people just don't upload like whole movies and TV shows to YouTube is that they have an automated content ID system, which detects copyrighted material uploaded to the platform. And what it does is it can automatically block it, it can demonetize it. It's basically meant to deter people from posting copyrighted material because YouTube doesn't want to be responsible for all of the inevitable lawsuits that would come and the legal battles and all like the rigmarole from having to manually police that and have people uploading full content onto their site because they're a video hosting platform. So you'll maybe see here that this was actually copyright claimed the day of. So how this relates to me specifically is that YouTube doesn't know the difference between fair use and like transformative work versus you just uploading something. To make this extremely simple, all the algorithm knows is there's Sinners clips here. This guy is trying to upload the entire Sinners movie. Let's not allow him to monetize this. Let's block it so that he can't do anything, right? So I've been dealing with this for years. And the way to get around this is to actually only use, I believe it's under like 12 seconds of clips from any of the IP that you're using. So if you notice why on video essays or clip channels that are able to kind of like use material from TV shows or movies or stuff like that, switching clips so fast, it's so that we can monetize our content because we don't want to get automatically flagged by the copyright ID system. And if you want to see what that looks like, I actually have it here. I have editors, but I also edit a ton of my own videos. And this, this is what it looks like to manually have clips. Like, so what is this one, for example? This is a 5-second clip. This is a 7-second clip. So this is a 9-second clip. And you could see I have to do individually, all those little black lines, those are individual clips, those are individual segments. I'm doing this all manually. And It's the responsibility of the content creator to hide these restrictions underneath really great content so you guys don't even notice it. So there's very specific reasons why my videos are edited in a multitude of ways that I'm not even going to go into because that's not really the point. And the entire purpose of this is so that when I upload it, the copyright system won't be able to analyze like 10 seconds of something and recognize what it is, like usually. And the funny thing is there's different like levels for different IPs. Game of Thrones is one of those things where I can actually use close to 20 seconds and the copyright system won't flag it. But for things owned by other properties like Warner Bros, like Paramount, that kind of stuff, you maybe have like 11 or 12 seconds. And so I did this Sinners video in the way that I did all of my videos to keep them monetizable. And I made all the clips 11 to 12 seconds and I uploaded it. And I came upon a snag that I thought I'd be able to handle. So a lot of times if you do automatically get copyright claimed, which happens a lot even if you cut up clips, it'll usually be something over like, oh, these two clips are so similar, right? Like a clip will be 9 seconds and another clip will be 8 seconds, that the copyright claim system automatically thinks, oh, it's a 19-second clip and therefore I'm going to recognize it as part of this movie, and it dings you. And you'll be able to go in when you get the copyright claim and see exactly what part of the video you're getting claimed on. And usually what you could do is you just go back into the video editor and you change that one section of the video and you put in like a 4-second clip, a 5-second clip, a 5-second clip, and a 6-second clip, right? And so you're usually all good because at that point, you have such short clips that the copyright ID system can't recognize what the material is, and you won't get demonetized or blocked. And that's usually what I do. Before I ever upload, I'm testing these to make sure that I can get monetized. And in a lot of cases, that's the quick and easy fix, but not in this case, because I can actually show you what I was dealing with here. So this is the Sinners video, and we could see actually blocked here. So I can go to see details, and here is where you can see why it was blocked. So Sinners, asset, full movie, visual, and don't pay attention to this yet, we're gonna get to this. See details. So this is how much of the video, all of these little like these bars here, that's how much of the video was being claimed. All of these here. There is no way for me to go in and manually change all these because it would effectively mean that I have to make an entirely new video. Like this is fundamentally breaking the video that I wanted to put out. And I had already spent hours and hours and hours putting together this video myself because I'm just really passionate about dialogue dives. They're my favorite type of content. And this has happened before. You kind of have to bite the bullet and say, all right, if I can't manually change the content, what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish the content as it is or keep the content as it is even without publishing. It's up to you, but I'm going to dispute it. And if you don't know how the copyright dispute system works on YouTube, it is equally as insane. Because effectively what you have to do is, if your video is automatically kind of like claimed by a robot, it's an algorithm that detects it, the copyright owner, so in this case, who would it be? Warner Bros. Warner Bros would get a notification that that their content was being used. And if I filed a dispute, I would have to go through YouTube and basically tell Warner Bros, hey, this is actually fair use, right? And so if you don't know, fair use is like transformative material, where it is not a way of substituting the original work, right? So for example, I wouldn't really have a case for fair use if I uploaded like the entire Sinners movie and just like talked over it, because that would be a substitute for just like watching it in the theater, or it'd be like taking away money from Warner Bros. Which, I mean, it would be a crappy experience, but someone could argue like, hey, this isn't really like transformative in an ironclad way because you're just showing them the whole movie. But what I do, obviously, for my videos and what the entire industry of video essays and like half of YouTube is built off of is taking clips from something, muting it, and using it as an expression of art or education, right? Which is what I've done every single time I've made a dispute. I basically go, hey, I significantly transform this. It is not a substitute for the original material. This is for educative purposes, and I'm going over how well the movie was written. When your content, when your video gets ID'd, usually it just gets demonetized. You can still show it, but it just gets demonetized. You make no money off of it. If you dispute it, the money goes into an escrow, right? So here's the other crazy thing. When I originally uploaded this video, I was getting no money from it, and Warner Bros was getting the money automatically. So I did not see any money initially off those 74,000 views. And when it goes into escrow, nobody gets the money. It's just being held. Depending on the outcome of the dispute, whoever wins the dispute will get the money. And that should be like a fine system, right? It's not, because Warner Bros. Is the person who I'm saying, hey, I'm trying to tell them I have a claim to this as far as it being fair use, and I have a right to be able to post it. But Warner Bros. Gets to decide if Warner Bros. Wins the case. That's right. The people who I have to act as a judge in the dispute are also the people in the dispute. So I contact Warner Bros. Through YouTube and I go like, here's my reasoning, here's my logic. It takes them 2 weeks to get back to me, and they denied my claim. But I 100% know that I have a right to be able to put up this type of video, and they said, no, you don't. And not only did Warner Bros. Deny my claim, they actually just made the video non-visible, just took it off the platform. And that really sucks, because again, it was doing really, really well, and I had worked really, really hard on it. And this is crazy to me, because like, this is a manual thing. Usually what happens is that they will just keep the video up and just take your money, right? They'll be like, hey, this video is doing really well. It's probably gonna earn $1,000, $2,000 over the course of its runtime. We'll just get an easy $2,000 because we control the outcome. But they didn't even do that here. They just straight up took the video down off of the website, which is crazy to me. It just seems like poor business. But you might think, okay, there has to be something, like if they did something fraudulent or if they made a mistake, isn't there a way to appeal this? And there is, but it is not worth it. And what you can do is actually take an action, and I can appeal. But if you read what appeal here means, appeal to the rejected dispute decision if you still believe you have the rights to the content. The claimant will review your appeal within 7 days. Rejected appeal may result in a copyright strike. So this is the bad part. Effectively, YouTube's genius system for dealing with copyright and content ID claims is that they tell you, oh, so you were rejected by this party the first time? What you could do is ask them really nicely again if you can have the rights to your video and the money and for it to be viewed. And if they deny you, we're gonna give you the worst penalty that you could think of for your channel. So take your pick, right? And for those saying, well, Savage Books, well, Alex, just do it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I've done this before. This is like the crazy part. And this is, now I realize like how long this video is going to be. I have actually done this before. I have appealed, and it didn't go well. So if you've been a part of this channel or been on this channel for any number of years, you might recognize this. The Rattlesnake Jake saga, the worst part about being on YouTube. And this was published August 8th, 2022. What happened here was that I made a Rattlesnake Jake video, which you can actually still find on YouTube because I had to fight so much to do it. But it got claimed by, I think, like Warner Bros. Or something. I think it was maybe Paramount, I'm not really sure. And I appealed it. And after I appealed it, I got a copyright strike on my channel. That was real fun, because basically what a copyright strike is YouTube saying, hey, your channel was like engaged in really bad negative behavior and we're going to penalize you. I don't think I could run ads on videos. I don't think I could be monetized for a certain amount of time. And this is a few years ago, so I'm trying to remember. But I definitely know that once you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel is just taken down. And keep in mind, I had made a full video that got almost 1 million views, my initial Rattlesnake Jake video. And let me see if I can actually find the re-uploaded one. Okay, so this is the re-uploaded one. It has 114,000 views, but the original one had, I think, like over like 500,000 views. And this was me doing it the first time of being like, oh yeah, you know, I trust the system. I can go through YouTube. And then once I got this copyright strike, I noticed that this was starting to become like the beginning of the end for the channel, at least in the way that it had been before, because everything changed with my videos and how they were recommended. But I might be getting a bit too ahead of myself. I will get into that. But just so you guys understand, this is why you cannot find the Sinner's video anymore. And I've made no money off of this. No money, like, whatsoever. I don't even know how much money I would have made. I guess I can look it up for you. No, I cannot even see, because it was blocked from like, or it was demonetized from like the very beginning, and then the dispute was rejected. And so this leads me into effectively what I'm going to have to do to keep going forward, because this type of stuff is a major threat to like basically anyone on YouTube, knowing that there is just no recourse for us to have any autonomy when it comes to even getting paid or making videos, because we're making them the way that we should, the way that we're told to make them. It's incredibly frustrating. And I think to really give you guys an idea of the decision that I'm going to make, it's good to give you a little bit of an insight and background to the channel, because I am still going to be making videos on YouTube, but I am highly, if not just for sure, considering moving over my videos to Patreon and having it be like super cheap to access them. Because right now, making $0 over like a 3-week span from like a video is insane, not tenable. And I'll show you guys what I've been dealing with as a content creator so you can kind of understand what it's like on the other side of the screen. So one of the most important metrics on YouTube, well, there's two. One is your impressions and one is click-through rate. So you might think views are the most important. You might think subscribers are the most important. That's not true. Like, even slightly. Your most important metrics are your impressions and your click-through rate. So if you're not really familiar with what impressions are how many times your video is shown to somebody else. And if you're not sure what click-through rate is the percentage of times your video is clicked when shown to someone. But generally you want your click rate to be above 4% or at 4%, because that's excellent for like a video essayist. And then for impressions are variable. And the reason I say impressions are the most important is because it really doesn't matter how many subscribers that you have. YouTube's new system is that they just don't give your video to your subscribers. Subscribing to a channel is a recommendation about what channels you would like to see more often in your feed. It is not about actually receiving those videos. So the videos you see, and you probably have noticed this, have zero relation, and even in your subscription box, to the actual content that's going to show up there. It's all about what you click on when you're shown it. So to give you an example of my impressions, and this is so how many times a video is shown, what we can do, let's just go to like my Dune video really recently, if I can find it. Actually, we'll go to my Tywin video. Okay. So we can see here for like my Tywin video, and this might seem crazy to people. The day one of it being published, it had 377,000 impressions, which is pretty good. That's actually more than I have subscribers, right? So it was shown to a lot of people. And then as we climb to 20 days, it's got 1.4 million impressions in total. I mean, it's still slightly going up, but right now we're at 2 million impressions. And then if we look at click-through rate, it's been pretty consistently good, right in between like 3 and 6% the entire time, which is pretty good, right? But what we can do is just go back. Remember that in one day, this had 377,000 impressions, which means it was shown to that many people. And on one day, it had a 4% click-through rate. And that's really good. That's the thing that shows YouTube, okay, yeah, people are like watching this. If we go to my Dune video, which also did pretty well, its click-through rate was 5.2%, right, on this first day. Really, really good. And then it's maintained a really high click-through rate the entire time. But the impressions are completely different. First day, 209,000, which means, and this isn't just subscribers, this is like everybody who saw it. So non-subscribers and subscribers as well. So even if this were all subscribers, this means 160,000 people were never shown this video, at least on day one. And you could see the huge disparity between that and Tywin, right? So this would be 170,000 impression difference, but this one had a higher click-through rate. Super weird, right? Like I can't really control that. And then we see here, Tywin, by the time it kind of plateaued, 2 million impressions. This one had 623,000. So 1.4 million less impressions for some reason. And we can see the click-through rate, again, for click-through rate, which is really, really good. Now, I want to show you what like impressions have been for the channel as a whole over the years. This is the arc of my impressions, which if you notice is kind of crazy. because over the years, obviously, I have more and more subscribers. Every year, basically, it's getting lower and lower, and I cannot control this. This is completely up to YouTube. I can't control how many impressions I get. I can't control how many recommendations my content gets. So usually what happens here is that impressions are tied into your click-through rate and your watch time. Those are the things that fuel YouTube saying, hey, people like this content, let's push this content even more, right? So you would think, oh, his impressions fell a lot. That means his click-through rate must have also fallen, right? To signal to YouTube people aren't as interested in his content. And his watch time and watch percentage must have fallen, right? So we can look at that. So this is my click-through rate all across my lifetime. And it's pretty stable, right? So this is when I was really small, so YouTube was really good at recommending content. But for the most part, 3.8, 3.6, 3.4, 3.1, 3.5, 3.5, 3.4, 3.4, right? So the entire time, maybe at a lowest like a 0.4% difference. Right now I'm at 0.3. So during my most popular time, which you can see here, right? Here and here, my most popular, it's actually the same as here. And so you think, oh, okay, people must be watching less, right? Like if his click-through rate is really high, people must be watching less, even if they click on the content. Well, we can look at that too. Nope, it seems that, in fact, people are watching more. 9 minutes, 12 seconds, 9:12, 8:30, 7:40, 8:17, 8:46. And this is, not to toot my own horn, insane, by the way. Like the average YouTube watch time is somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes. Like if you're lucky, you can get to 6 minutes, but that's like excellent. So this channel with people watching, we frequently do like over 8 minutes of people sticking around to watch videos. And again, this is not have anything to do with YouTube being more selective with who it's showing the content to, right? So you would think, oh, the reason people are watching for as long as they are is because the pool of people watching is smaller, right? Like your content is being picked up by less people, so we're going to see the content reflect that with a lower click-through rate, but it's not. And we're, for some reason, even though we have a consistency with view duration, as far as the total amount of time people are usually spending watching a video, we have a consistency with click-through rate and view duration. For some reason, impressions are just falling and falling and falling. This is not something that is completely surprising to me, which is why I pivoted actually right here, right in this space right here. I said, this is not going to last. There's no way that, I mean, like I could be like one of the super huge Hello Future Me, every frame a painting, closer look type content creators, that I'm just like, there's no way this is sustainable, because I was making good money here and able to make videos like pretty consistently without them getting copyright claimed. But I said, YouTube isn't going to be something that I can really bank on for like 10, 15, 20 years. I have to switch into something sustainable. And that's why I opened up my editing business. And so many YouTubers don't do this. They like say, oh, they see these numbers of how many views that they're getting. And they think, oh, this is going to last forever, right? Because here, right, if I show you guys, 12.5 million views in 1 year, 8 million views in 1 year, 8 million views in another year. But I said, this can't last. And I wanted something that I could control, something that was within my own power to be able to excel at and to expand. And so that's why I started my editing business. And that's why I started selling the books that I loved, because I knew that when YouTube had a downturn, I wanted something else to be able to rely on. And if you guys really want a sense of what it looks like when you have this much of a downturn with your content being recommended, I can show you. So this is my estimated revenue. So you'll be able to see, last year on YouTube, I made $9,000 for the whole year, $9,000. For 2024, I made $13,000. And for 2023, I made $12,000. So if you want to put that together, guys, for 3 years in total, I made $33,000 on YouTube. Now, obviously, that's not going to pay bills, but I don't rely on YouTube explicitly for money. A large part of it comes from, again, me just understanding over here when I made $42,000 off of YouTube, which still in like the grand scheme of things isn't that much. But when I made $42,000 off of YouTube, that this would not last. I had to do something with my financial freedom at that point to ensure that I could go forward being able to make money when the algorithm turned on me, because I did not want to have to be caught with like my pants down re-entering like the job market if I got to this point, which again I have no control over. And so I made sure set up my own business, create a really good relationship with clients, get return clients, and have all this be kind of like worked out. But yeah, I am really showing you guys, putting my money where my mouth is, or the lack of it, that YouTube is very much like a game of flashes in the pan. Again, unless you could be like one of the really upper echelon, like so big you can't fail YouTubers, this is the type of trajectory that we often see with so many content creators. So all of this is to say, not only is my content being blocked and I'm not getting paid for it, and to put that in perspective for you guys as well, this got blocked. This is my most money making video. This has been blocked. I've made no money off of it. That got copyright claimed. I wasn't able to monetize that. My Joker video got copyright claimed. Wasn't able to monetize that for this whole time. But regardless, it's like, I can't really do this anymore. I can't keep putting out content that'll just like randomly get copyright blocked or have my channel deleted. And so one of the things that I'm thinking of doing, and it took me like 40 minutes to get here, but I appreciate you guys like sticking with me, is moving over to Patreon. I will explain it like this. I am not looking to make things more expensive, especially in this economy at this time, because I know how difficult things are. But one of the things that has actually saved me over the years has been my Patreon supporters. You all have been such a like blessing of security in times where stuff is very variable, right? Like I never know how much I'm going to make. And Patreon actually is looking more and more like the reality that I'll have to switch to, because Patreon does not have a content ID system. You can just upload whatever on Patreon and you have to get it like manually taken down by like somebody else. There's no like bot to do it for you. And because there is no bot, I can make videos way easier than what I'm doing now. Like I don't have to do all this like nonsense. I wouldn't have to like make 100 different edits for a video. I could just make the video how I want it to be. But at the same time, I don't want to completely abandon YouTube, because like I said, I was able to differentiate my money and my assets and everything because of my editing business, which so many of you guys have used and I've been really grateful for. And I always want you to get your money's worth. And so what I want to, I think, really stress on top of that is I also think education for art, I mean for anything really, should be accessible and preferably free. That's why I've always made videos. I was making videos for free just to educate people way before I ever started doing this like for money. And I really don't do it for money because again, I make like $600 a month off of YouTube. But I put out videos because I want people to be able to have access to bettering their craft, to be able to become better writers, to have a better understanding of themselves and the art that they want to put out in the written form. And so I am not abandoning YouTube completely, but here's my plan. I'm thinking of having a few different, really just simplified tiers on Patreon, because I know there's a few tiers on my Patreon already, but it really is just going to be like a tier that's like $4, I think, to be able to access Patreon videos. And they're probably going to be like, I mean, anywhere between the shorter ones on the 10-minute side and the longer ones, maybe like 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm fine with having them be longer because they'll be much easier to make. And those videos, a small segment of them will be put on YouTube for people to still be able to access. You'll probably have noticed over the years, a lot of my videos are segmented anyway. And so they'll be like, you know, if they're 15 minutes long, each segment will be like 5-ish minutes. And so the idea is to take those segments, or at least one, put it on YouTube, and basically in the video being like, hey, if you like this 5-minute, 6-minute, 7-minute video, this is actually a part of a 15, 20, 25-minute video that you could have full access to on Patreon. And the one on Patreon will be even better because I get to edit it completely freely aside from YouTube, and I don't have to worry about that content ID. And the idea here would be kind of like everybody wins. People who don't feel like paying anything extra, especially again in this economy, don't have to pay to be able to get access to my educational content. People who do want to support now get to pay like $4 to ensure that I get to keep making videos, and they get to get much better videos. Because if I can get like, I don't know, out of 370,000 subscribers, if I can get like 500 of y'all to pay $4, that's like $2,000 a month. That covers rent. That would be like really nice for me to just consistently make videos, right? Like if I got 1,000 of y'all to pay like $2, you know, even. And I feel like that's a lot more sustainable, because having consistent income off of content that I know I'll be able to make my way for specific watchers, and then being able to put more generalized content on YouTube seems like the easiest thing. And I actually got this idea from Tim from Hello Future Me. I was actually just talking with him about the new avatar leaks, and if you know, you know. But Tim told me something years ago when I was talking to him that really set in motion, I think, my perspective on all this. When I asked him about his Patreon, because I think he has like, gosh, he has like hundreds and hundreds, if not like over 1,000 people that support him on Patreon. He said it is much easier to make content for 1,000 specific people than it is to make content for 100,000 random people. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? And it's not that I'm not concerned with everybody on YouTube, but the idea of having like a core group of people who like pay consistently, which would be like the cost of like a coffee, and I make content with them in mind, knowing that I have the security to be able to just really do the art that I want, I think is really freeing and really important. But one last thing that I wanted to say is that I'm also very much intrigued in actually leaning in much more towards my second and my third channel. If you don't know what the second channel is, it's a lot of me just yapping, but I found like a real comfort and a pleasure in being able to talk about therapeutic, social, and like masculine issues. For those of you who don't know, I'm a practicing therapist. I have a lot of clients. And one of my deep loves that I think has improved my writing is being able to talk about social issues and issues that, you know, young men face, because I'm a young man who's just luckily got like 2 degrees in emotions. And this channel is something where I kind of want to like dive into more as an interesting space to be able to have topics. And I've been really lucky that people have really enjoyed it. I've talked with Man Caring Thing and did a video about his interaction with a critical drinker, talked about Game of Thrones on here, its relationship to masculinity. And it's been really cool, and I've gotten like a really cool response. This is something, especially in today's climate, that I think is needed, and I want to be able to spend more time and attention to. And of course, I want to be able to also give time and attention to my third channel. If you guys haven't seen this, it's all of my book stuff. I have like way over like 150 pieces of art created for my books, and I use them. This is all my art. I use them to be able to make videos to go along with the lore of my world. So these are kind of like my passions now. I still have a passion for YouTube, but just like, I don't know, this center stuff was kind of the kick in the pants that I needed to be able to say like, hey, something's got to change. Something's got to give, because of everything that I kind of outlined to you guys. It is untenable being able to keep putting out content that may get demonetized or blocked. And I think that this is probably the best change that I can do so that everybody wins. Everybody keeps getting me on the main channel. People on Patreon get Patreon exclusive content as well. And they get longer form videos that are going to be much, much better. And then I get, I think, more security to be able to keep making videos. If enough of you, which again, I would need like, hopefully, you know, 200, 300, 400, 500 people out of 370,000 to be able to join me. And I know it's a big ask, and you all just kicked the freaking ball out the park supporting my Kickstarter, which I'm so grateful for this book up here. But if it's something that we could work together on, so I think, make everything work for everybody, that'd be great. But yeah, this was a way too long video, going over everything that happened and the changes that I'll be making to the channel. I still want to upload, but like I said, there are ways that I'm just going to have to alter my content if I wanted to move forward the same way that I'm doing, that I just don't think is best for anybody. So that's my update. That's everything that's going on. I will keep you guys posted. Thank you for watching this ridiculously long video, and I will talk to you all again soon.